Hello, hello.
Hi,
How we all doing?
Good, good,
I'm
good. Doing?
Yilmaz, thanks for joining us today. I'm pronouncing that right?
yes. Thank you for inviting. Thank you for hosting me.
Absolutely,
Thank,
yeah.
thank you
I
for
think
joining. Welcome, everyone. For those just joining, please share the link. Let people join us in. We are live, and we're just going to get right into it. Welcome to Spicy Takes episode 22. And today we have a very exciting topic, scaling the apps across chain, the Spice Flow advantage. I know that for our old community members, I know that Spice Flow is no longer new to you, but we are bringing in a spicy guest to come tell us what Spice Flow enhances for Citra. And of course, I am Amara, and we are going to be talking about how Bitcoin can scale across ecosystem and how Spice Flow unlocks new way for builders to expand beyond one chain. And of course, we have a very spicy guest, Yilmaz. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. From
Yes.
Citra, and of course, Paprika, our everyday guest, who is the co-founder of Spicenet. Now, over the next 30 to 45 minutes, we'll explore what distribution really looks like for Bitcoin-based apps and how infrastructure like Spice.
oh,
Oh, is it
all
just
right.
me or you can hear it?
Yeah, I also can't hear, but yeah, I think Yilmaz would be awesome if you can give the people introduction into what is
Sure.
Citrea, what's your role at Citrea, what's the day-to-day like, tell them what it's all about.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So I am Yilmaz. My name is Mohammed. My surname is Yilmaz. I go with Yilmaz because it's easier to pronounce and it's easier to remember, I believe.
Interesting.
So I'm at Derwell and working with ecosystem teams together with Jason and Talib. Talib is the Derwell engineer. Jason is our ecosystem manager. Basically, my day-to-day job is helping developers, um, onboarding them to Citrea, like let them to build more babs on Citrea and like brainstorm their ideas, have to execute their ideas, have to execute their ideas from 1 to 10. I'm kind of helping everyone building on Citrea in a way, and also creating teams for our incubation program called Citrea. I'm mostly interacting with developers and the teams who are like considering or building on Citrea actually. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So you called them BAPs. Do you want to tell us what's a BAP?
Sure, sure. Actually, I'm not sure if everyone familiar with Citrea, so I want to share something about Citrea first. So
Yeah, please do.
Citrea is a Bitcoin's first ZK rollup. Basically, we are settling on Bitcoin rather than Ethereum. You may know rollups on Ethereum. We built this concept which settles on Bitcoin, and we have a trust minimized bridge, which is one of an for Bitcoin. I think in Spicenet, it makes sense to mention about bridges as well. So with this setup, people can build applications directly on Citrea, which is secured by Bitcoin directly. Through that, we call it Bitcoin applications. Like decentralized applications, we call it Bitcoin applications. That's why we are using the term BAPs. And yeah, that's overall that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Everyone here knows how bullish we are on Bitcoin backed finance. I mean, it's been the market that we've targeted
Yeah.
for a lot of the tech we're building to try to, bring some users from the rest of the ecosystems over to these apps. So yeah, that's why we're super excited to be working with Citrea because very bullish on the BAPs that are being built over there. And I mean, from a thesis perspective, like in your words, what's the reason to back DeFi with Bitcoin instead of Ethereum or any of the other mechanisms out there?
Oh, great question. Actually, my background is coming from DeFi. I see myself as a powerful DeFi user, and I have been in this sector since 2021. I have probably used every DeFi application, so I definitely have some information and something to share here. So when you onboarded DeFi, when I onboarded in DeFi back in 2021, there were some wrappers like RAM BTC, WBTC. Those were like the biggest one, but there were always popping up some wrappers for BTC. Just because BTC liquidity was enormous, it's still enormous. It's bigger than ever again, bigger than ever it was. And those wrappers shut it down, their their doors one by one, or they got hacked, simply because there was a lot of trust assumptions. Like, you need to trust that like RAM BTC is solid. RAM BTC is actually holding BTC on their balance sheet, and like you need to trust them. You need to trust the company behind these guys. So because of those reasons, we didn't had a good trustless or trust minimized BTC on any programmable network. But people were desperately looking for it, and they went with WBTC, which is issued by BitGo, and it's one of the like it's the major wrapper for BTC right now. It's widely used by users for borrowing against it mostly. It's widely adopted in DeFi ecosystem, and it shows the demand itself. I think why needed, because BTC is not an asset to spend for me. Nobody wants to spend a dime in BTC. They don't want to spend their sats at all.
Mhm.
They like people believe that. I also believe that BTC will go to $1 million. It's a kind of store of value right now. It's not a speculative asset anymore. It's getting in that phase.
Mhm.
So rather than selling it, having an exposure, but borrowing against it, basically shorting the fiat money makes sense for most of the people. And we need to have those applications in DeFi ecosystem which support BTC directly, not a
Yeah.
wrapper, not a like a trusted version.
Totally, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of points that I agree with there. First and foremost, like not wanting to spend your Bitcoin, which is so funny because for the longest time, that's been like the normie argument against Bitcoin is like, well, I can't use it to buy my coffee, so it's worth nothing. But it's
Yeah,
like, all right, that's fine. I'll just hold my Bitcoin and watch it rise in value versus US dollars. I think you talked about even borrowing against your Bitcoin US dollars. And
yeah,
then like you could be using those US dollars to pay for stuff, right? Like you could still make that your currency. So if you know you have a bunch of US dollars, you want some liquid cash, but you also want to be holding Bitcoin, then the solution to that is really like not to sell your Bitcoin, but to borrow against it and then go pay with things using it, which I think is awesome because you still get to hold your Bitcoin and have the exposure to the upside. Also, though, I mean, this is what the really rich do with their companies, their stocks, so that they don't have to pay taxes when they sell their shares, right?
like Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is
Yeah.
what they do, right? A lot of CEOs, like Elon Musk, I think there's like the famous article talking about how his salary is like $1 per year at Tesla, and then he
Oh,
just because he just holds all this equity, right?
oh,
And then
okay.
what he does is he just borrows money against his equity, and then he goes and he spends that money. When he needs more money, he borrows more money against his equity. I mean, his equity is worth so much that like he would never get run out of borrowing room basically to spend on the things that he needs. And I think that you bring up a good point. I think people will do this with Bitcoin as well. But
Yep.
like you said, like they don't necessarily want to wrap their Bitcoin first because now they're not holding traditional Bitcoin. They've brought on trust assumptions. They've brought on some security assumptions. And
Yes.
it's not quite as much of a no-brainer to run this strategy of like, oh, I'll just borrow against my Bitcoin and then pay for stuff with it. So
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of the way I always described it to people as well, is like if most of the money in crypto or like the majority is in Bitcoin, and those Bitcoin holders want to use DeFi that is secured by Bitcoin itself and doesn't add extra trust assumptions, then like that has probably the greatest potential to be even the largest market in the space.
Totally. You frame it like how would I frame it, to be honest? Like that's what Citrea is building. That's our vision. We want to work for hyper Bitcoinization. One point you like you shared about like newbies who cannot spend Bitcoin. Actually, that's another point. Like Bitcoin should be the keystone. It should be the bedrock for the finance, like future finance, and that's why it needs programmability in some sense. You don't
Yeah.
need to bring directly into Bitcoin layer, but you should be able to settle on Bitcoin. If you can settle on Bitcoin, you can build many trustless stuff. Right now, that's another debate. We cannot directly build trustless applications, but it should be like trust minimized one of n, which we are building because of the Bitcoin's limitation. But
Yeah.
we believe like finance is going that way, and we believe hyper Bitcoinization. People should be able to spend their Bitcoin like instant if they want to. They shouldn't, but if they want to, they should be able to.
Only so that they can move more of their funds into holding Bitcoin and not have to worry about selling it, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that's like the future that we end up in? Like, I don't know, let's say like 10 years from now, Bitcoin's at $1 million. It's like the world's preferred store of value over gold at that point. I think it would have flipped it.
Hmm.
Um, do you think people like their banking app is tapping into Bitcoin and they're basically like buying Bitcoin and that's being routed to BAPS through their banking app, and then when they're going to spend, that's just a conversion that's happening in real time, or what do you think?
So when we try to describe feature, we normally like have reference from our backpack, like my backpack history, right? So I'm a person in Turkey. We are like struggling with inflation, and every family in Turkey have gold. We may have the second biggest gold stack in the entire world as a country, but nobody puts their gold into the bank. Nobody holds their gold in banks.
Yeah.
So it's so funny when you check the stats. You see Turkey is like, I don't know, top 100 country in terms of gold stack in their like a central bank, but people have lots of gold and they never trust banks to store it. Same
Hmm.
thing for Bitcoin too. Like same thing should be for Bitcoin too. But right now, when you try to onboard a newbie to buy a Bitcoin and hold it against their inflation, they need to go through JAX, like central exchanges,
Yeah.
and they just stuck there. They had their money in central exchanges, or they use custodial wallet solutions. They are, because like with the Bitcoin program, it's so hard to build like those like money wrappers, like money transmitters, etc. That's a huge obstacle. We need to like get rid of it, and that's why we need to like scale Bitcoin in a sense as an asset and utility. That's why we are building Citrea. And in 10 years, if we achieve this like specifically the trustless version of it, I believe there is a huge chance Bitcoin is going to be a portfolio. I'm pretty sure about that. In 10 years, not just like countries will be like stacking Bitcoins. I'm not just saying about like El Salvador or like third world countries. I'm saying about like first world countries as well. I hate the term, but I just want to put it that way. They will be
Yeah, yeah.
staking Bitcoin. Yeah,
That's,
because
that's starting to happen too with the states recently, right? And like they're looking to do a lot more of it.
yeah, but this is like right now it's more like political stuff. They just want to like get some exposure to those people, like crypto people, like Trump
Mhm.
did. I'm not sure about if Trump really likes crypto or Bitcoin. To be honest, I'm still like on the other side. Like he's doing this because he can win the election
Yeah.
while doing that. Yeah,
It's a tactical play. Like they can
yeah,
allocate a tiny amount for the U.S. government, a tiny amount of assets, right? It sounds like a lot of Bitcoin that they're accumulating, and like it might affect the charts in a very positive way for us, which is cool. But like by percentage of how much money the U.S. government has, it's such a small percentage. So like I believe that you might be right too. Like his team could have sat down and said like, okay, we can commit to spending a tiny amount here and it's
yeah.
going to buy us
This what? Yeah,
all of this following. Yeah.
but it won't be like that in future. Right now, it's like a leverage for them. They are using it as a leverage, but in future they will need to hold Bitcoin. I believe it will be something like gold. I'm not sure if it's going to like exceed gold's value, to be honest. Gold is like, because there's so much cultural stuff with gold. It's like prehistoric era, people were stuck in gold. So I'm looking in that sense as well. So, but Bitcoin will be like competing with gold to become a store of value if we solve those obstacles and some of the issues Bitcoin is having right now.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Yeah. What's up, Emma? You had
Yes, I wanted to say that thank you for getting us started, and also we've established how important Bitcoin asset is, and also the future, what it holds for us. So I wanted us to a bit like backtrack to the developers building on Bitcoin, the apps, of course, and how developing is right now for them, and how spice flow, what role does spice flow play to help them be better, to bring this future closer, and of course to onboard more people to Bitcoin based app.
Well, I won't get into Spice Flow right away, but I think you were talking
Yeah.
about trust minimized bridging,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I don't think you got the opportunity to expand that. Did you want to kind of touch on that subject at all?
Me for trust minimized bridge, how it's
Yeah,
working.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
You guys are talking about minimized bridging of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I can obviously expand that. So right now in current version of Clementine, which is our bridge design, it works as a BitPM2 bridge. We are also already working on the V3 version, which is using garbled circuits. I have no idea, it's some ZK cryptographic term, but I know the concept, so I will go through with the concept. In current design, basically, let's say if there's a user wants to peg into Citrea as with their BTC, so they want to bridge BTC to Citrea, basically, right? They first say that they shared their intents with the bridge. Okay, I want to bridge 10 BTC, and bridge opens a n of n vault for those 10 BTC. User sends 10 BTC to this vault and immediately get 10 CBTC on Citrea.
Mm.
Iterates, iterates, they iterates, make some money, and they want to move back to Bitcoin because of some reason, I don't know. In that sense, we have a design with operators and verifiers. So he again sends a request to bridge to peg out from CBTC. He says, okay, I have 10 CBTC, I want to move to Bitcoin. Then he sends the request. Then there are operators. Those are some kind of like solvers, actually. It's kind of intent based.
Mm-hmm.
Those operators prepays. Those operators first outbid. They race each other to give the best rate to the user. So one says, okay, I will give you 9.99. Another says, I will give you 9.999 in a way. And whoever outbids the best gets the auction and prepays the user's money directly on Bitcoin. User directly gets their BTC on Bitcoin side, and operators needs to stay low until like end of the epoch, which is kind of around 2 weeks. They released the 4 days, but I'm not sure how many days right now. At the end of the epoch, operator says, okay, I have paid this guy 10 BTC. I need my money back. As you remember, we put 10 BTC into N of N vault. It is still there. We didn't pay it from the vault. Operator paid from their pocket. So we supposed to give this vault to the operator. So operators can reimburse it basically. But for that, we need to check the transactions and verify it. So this is this verification is happening optimistically, which means like the optimistic bridge designs like Arbitrum and Optimism. When the operator sends the transaction, we check it. If everything is okay, if everything is correct, we send the money. If there's anything wrong, anyone can challenge from the verifier set. I think it's like right now permissionless. Anyone can challenge directly. When you challenge, you need to basically stake some BTC, and operators already staked some BTC. you are challenging operator. You are saying that okay, this transaction is not correct. He's trying to like double spend, and this challenge response process, like 4 or 5 transactions directly happening on Citrea. Basically, it's a HTLC based some transactions happening on Bitcoin. So basically, Bitcoin is verifying if the transactions are correct or not. Let me put it that way. At the end of the challenge response period, if operator is correct, operator gets his money. If he's not correct, he's trying to cheat. His stake
Smashed, right?
will be, yeah.
Yeah.
That's that easy, but it wasn't
Mhm.
possible like until now. This is live on testnet. We are going mainnet pretty soon, by the way. I'm not going to give any date yet, but it's pretty soon.
You had me excited for a second there. I was like,
You
"Are
can
we
be
gonna
excited.
get it?"
So soon. Let me
Yeah,
put it that way.
yeah, awesome. And then what chains can you bridge from to Citrea through that intent bridge?
So Clementine is canonical bridge for Bitcoin to
Right.
Citrea and
Yeah.
vice versa. That's the
Yeah.
canonical bridge. And if you wanna like move assets from two EVM chains like Ethereum, Arbitrum, and others, you can use any third-party DEX we already integrated. Doesn't matter. For stables, we have layer zero. For others, we have like third-party bridges already.
Yeah.
And I think we can get into Spicenet right now because you don't need to breach. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
why
Thanks
you
for
are
clearing that up.
breaching.
Exactly. You don't need to bridge. That's exactly the point. So we would have our liquidity already available on Citrea. The user, let's say they're on Ethereum, would show up to the application, connect their Ethereum wallet, and then they would place their transaction on, let's say, Crest, right? Because we love Crest and we've built a demo for them. So the user shows up to Crest, connects their Ethereum wallet. They spend their Ethereum. They're swapping directly into CBTC. And instead of having to go to the bridge first and then bridging to their wallet on Citrea and then going to Crest and showing up with that wallet and then buying CBTC, what they do is they connect their Ethereum wallet, they pay using Ethereum. Spicenet sponsors the capital on Citrea, right? We purchase the CBTC for them. We return that into escrow on Citrea. Their wallet on Ethereum is the signer that owns this CBTC on Citrea. And only once we've returned that to them, then we unlock their escrow on Ethereum. So in that way, we can make it like a non-custodial brokerage where if they get the results that they asked for, then their funds are taken, their capital that they're using to pay. And if we don't give them the funds that they asked for, then the capital initially just gets returned to them. So then it removes a lot of the complexity of bridging, right? Because sometimes when you bridge, your funds like get kind of lost in translation in the
Yeah,
middle, or you end up on the other end with no gas money, or you don't know that you have to switch networks. Like there's a lot of UX problems.
I hate
So
that.
basically, SpiceFlow simplifying all of those UX problems, making the onboarding super easy. We'll use the power of Citrea without having to necessarily set up on the network. And Citrea can just sit back and watch the TVL rise, and the users don't even necessarily need to know that the TVL is on Citrea.
So
They just
I will give you one example. I just did like today. So there was a shitcoin I was holding in Avalanche C chain back in like I don't know a year ago, and there was some another shitcoin on base, and
yeah,
I went to basically swap this Avalanche C chain asset to the base asset.
yeah,
Normally I need to like swap this to AWAX, ETH, USDC, probably USDC, then bridge it to base. Then I need to buy that base USDC, with that base USDC to other shitcoin. I
yeah,
assume I have gas fee. If I don't have gas fee, I need to like get from gas refuel or like grab his gas account or somewhere else. Anyway,
yeah. Text your buddy and ask if he can send you $5 on base.
space is a bit better right now, but it's still insanely bad for newcomers. Uh,
Yeah.
have been here, so we know some nuances we can like feel out. But anyway, this process was enormously headaching, like because this
Mhm.
price going higher. It's a shitcoin. It will go higher.
Oh yeah, you got to get in there now, right?
I got to get in there, and this process will take like forever for me. If Spicenet had this integration with, I don't know, Aerodrome, I could click just in one click I could trade, but I couldn't. I need to take all the steps, and it was like how far for me to like enable the transaction. It took a lot because it's stuck in the bridge. It was showing like it's pending. Then like I don't know. It took
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, sometimes like you try to go through a wormhole and then it burns your money on one side and forgets to mint it on the other. And then you go back to wormhole and you have to tell it to wake up basically. You're like, "Hey, I burnt my money over here. You have to go mint it on the other side. Give me my money." And then they will.
Yeah, I
That's
think they wrote, by the way, like whenever I use like 3 years ago, I was using Portal and I bridged some, I don't know, USDC from Solana and I got one whole USDC on Arbitrum or Avalanche. And I was like, am I gonna do that? There's no
yeah.
liquidity for it. Like you cannot spend it. It's just a rapid ERC20. It was insane. Right now they are much better, I believe. I haven't used
Definitely.
it.
And also like I will note that as much as I'm like ripping on the UX of bridges, like I mean bridges are still going to serve a purpose in the space. Like what you guys have built is still important because people need to be able to get their capital to your chain. Like for example, we will have liquidity on every chain that we're serving, right? And we're deploying that liquidity, but as time goes on, that liquidity can get imbalanced, right? More people, we can end up with more liquidity on Ethereum than we have on Citrea if a bunch of people are buying things on Citrea, right,
Yeah.
from their Ethereum wallet. So it's like it's still important for us to be able to use the business to rebalance. Yeah, exactly. It's like the whole thesis for me in DeFi is like it's going to become this back end and the front end is so much more usable. And in my mind, like we're just kind of fitting into that next level of that stack that makes it more usable. But like the things that exist that allow us to move money around, they still exist for a reason.
Yeah, and this should be an infra problem, not user end problem, to be honest. Like you should solve this for users, not users try to like struggle to solve it. Like application, if application is like trading application, why I'm trying to like bridge from there to there, I have an intent. I want to buy this token, I want to sell this token. That's it. User wants to do this in one click. And if you enable this, then you are good to go. You can expand to other chains without like forking, without redeploying your contracts, without trying to like onboard all of this liquidity to your product, which will be like idle liquidity for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. Hi Matt, can you run us through how simple this integration is? How does the integration work for Citra builders listening in on the space?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a API or an SDK. You have the choice depending on how you want to implement it. It never takes smart contract edits, so you're just updating the front end code to your application. And you know, I'm not a DevRel, so if I was, I'd be able to tell you more. But what I do know is that our team is standardizing a lot of the integration process, and we've cut down the time that it takes for us to build one significantly just in the last month. And we're still building them for people. So I would say if you are a Citrea builder and you're listening to this, the best thing you could do is actually reach out to us. We can get you on the wait list and build the integration for you, and your team doesn't have to worry about it.
By the way, let me announce it from here. We will have some sessions with our infra partners and the Citrea builders, ecosystem builders. Basically, you will be able to share what you are building on Spicenet and how those application builders, developers can leverage it. I want to announce it here. We want to start in 2 weeks and in a gradually well, like we will have sessions once or twice per week, and we want to like show the stacks to the developers, because as a dev role, what I realized was that developers, like, they have also backpack, right? They used to use Chainlink. They know it, and they don't want to like change the Oracle from there to this other interface. It's a weird thing. It's a new thing. they don't want to mess with that. They just want to like try whatever they tried at the beginning, but it was like a central ego technology. They don't realize that, or like they don't know how you are offering. So we want to help on that side. I want to teach developers, okay, there is this whole product set which like leverage your product like enormously. You can reach any application, any chain's users just by integrating with this. Why not doing that? I want to give that leverage to you and the developers. Developers should know you right now.
Yeah.
Probably some of them still doesn't
Yeah.
understand, don't know how to use it, or like how can like leverage this tag. We will do
Mm-hmm.
that sessions,
That,
and I
hey,
will happily host you as a first honor.
that's
That's
awesome, dude.
fantastic to hear. Yeah, really, really
Yeah,
nice to hear.
we'll have to get one of our star devs on the call so they can do a better job of explaining than my non-tech brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing to hear. Absolutely looking forward to doing as much like dev activation stuff as we can. And yeah, Citrea has been like one of our favorite ecosystems to work. I'd say like the builders in Citrea are much more proactive, let's say, than other builders out there. Like this is a message to all you builders that don't have the time to look into the integrations and decide if it's something you can use. Take a note out of Citrea's book, because it's one of the ecosystems where we're starting to see people to reach out to us first before we have to
Mm-hmm.
reach out to them. They're looking at it as what it is that we've built. They're looking at it as an opportunity, and then they're asking us about it. So I mean, I think that's a sort of like a bullish signal coming from an ecosystem that's like looking to improve itself and not being told that it has to improve. And just another great example by you, Yilmaz, right there. Just looking to take initiative and seeing how you guys can get it integrated. So yeah, much love.
Thank you, man. By the way, I'm also a node developer. I'm actually an architect. I'm mostly on the product side, but yeah, I have been talking with developers, and I'm telling, okay, are you using this stack for this? And they were like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you using this indexer? Are you using this RPC provider? They were like, no, we are using custom RPC, like on the Citrea. Like, why? we have this whole stack we prepared for you guys. So we are basically like having this partnership integration with them, so we can serve you better infrastructure. And they were like, we didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you all know it now.
And and
There's
and
no
to be
excuse.
Yeah, to be fair, like I talk a lot of shit, but like I get it. Like everyone's trying to build their own product, and a lot of the time, like you have to make very quick design choices, and
Yeah.
there's hundreds of them per day. I mean, from talking to Karthik, my co-founder and CTO, it's like, oh man, like the amount of decisions he has to make every day is crazy. So I totally get it. But yeah,
Right.
like that's why it's been our mission to just make it as easy as possible for people. Like I'm sure once we're mainnet live and we hit that velocity, it's going to be something that people just know about and default to integrating. But for the
Mm-hmm.
time being, it's a question of how can we make this as much of a no-brainer as possible. And yeah, that's been our solution, is just like, hey, we'll build it for you, we'll give it back to you, it's going to enable this. When we give it back to you, you let us know if you're happy with it. If you are, boom, it's yours.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add, Yilmaz, Mart, before we call it a day here? It has
No,
really been an exciting space.
yeah, I think we'll wrap up here. But yeah, Yilmaz, like I mean, you were teasing mainnets, you were teasing a couple of things.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you want to direct the community to here, I mean, obviously, guys, go follow Citrea. I'm sure most of you are by now, but if you aren't, then please go give them a follow. Yilmaz, if you want to plug your socials as well, go ahead. And then anything that you want to direct the attention towards, yeah, feel free to let the people know.
Sure. We are having a testnet campaign, if you are not familiar. So we are almost ending it. Like it will be ended end of October. So if you were started like previously, like months ago, we added more tasks. You need to fulfill every task to mint the NFT. That's a reminder. If you don't have any access code right now, I think I can share with your team. Amara, could you just like distribute like 5-10 codes with the community?
Yay!
There you go.
Definitely, definitely,
Yes,
definitely. I'm sure the
Okay.
community really
Okay.
excited to hear that.
Okay. I will drop like 10 codes to our chat.
Okay.
You can just distribute it however you like.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And to the community, congrats in advance. I'm so sure that you guys are excited. Okay, I think that is all for now. Matt, is there anything you would like to add? And of course, to our community, I can see the excitement already in the chat. Thank you guys for joining in. It's always a pleasure. Matt, anything you would like to add?
there you go. I think Yilmaz brought Christmas to our group chat. There's a lot of excited people in there waiting for codes. So I'll let you guys go
Yeah.
get to that. I'll let you go hand those out, Emma.
Okay.
Yeah, an absolute pleasure, Yilmaz. We're looking forward to participating in that dev activation for SpiceFlow. You'll let us know how we can help out best with that, and
Awesome.
we'll make sure the community knows about it so they can be over there. And
Okay.
otherwise, take care, guys, and stay spicy.
Stay spicy, guys. Bye.